Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us at this time and at this last session. I was informed that we are in a lack of a presenter, so allow me to present and flex about myself. I'm Kontogeorgou. I'm a lawyer. I'm partner at Kontogeorgou ZK law firm, and at the same time, I'm co-founder and BOD member and regulatory affairs executive in Science to Business. And I've been active in the field of technology for over 25 years. And it's the first time that we see that our profession, and I say our, assuming that most of you are in the legal profession, but anyhow, legal profession stands at a pivotal stage. We see generative AI not as a technological advancement. It's not an upgraded tool to a software that we use. It's not just a tool that we need to buy, but it seems that it's reshaping the way we do deliver value. We think about risk. It redefines efficiency. It challenges the way we are trained, the way we are organized as teams, the way we are trained, and even our monetization models. I will be very pleased today to elaborate on these topics and see all the opportunities and challenges generative AI can bring to our profession. And I would like to welcome on stage and present to you esteemed panelists, 2 from the tech sectors and 1 lawyer. So allow me to call Christina Grigoriadou. She's an economist, attorney at law at Moussas and Partners law firm. Welcome, Christina, thank you. Panos Karachalios. Panos is the founder and CEO of LAWGIC, which is an AI platform, and at the same time, he is the Chief Technology Officer at Koutaleidis law firm. So Panos is having a dual role, so he knows how we as lawyers can adapt and the challenges we face in adapting technology. And last but not least is Michalis Rikakis, who is the co-founder and CEO of Dikaio.ai. He's building next generation legal and compliance AI for Greece and Europe. He has a background, he was a product leader in Google and Workable. He focuses on transforming complex regulatory workflows in automated scalable services. Welcome all. And I would like to start the discussion, actually, before we get into the details of GenAI and the legal profession, I would like to map a little bit and present the generative AI landscape in the legal profession. So let's see where we stand at the moment. I would like to start from Michalis. So Michalis, where exactly are we with AI? What AI tools and platforms are there available? What type of tasks are they performing on our behalf? What needs they cover for lawyers? And the capabilities that they can bring to everyday life of lawyers.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for the introduction. Yeah, it's an interesting question, definitely. Probably most of us here, or everyone, remembers what was life before AI, as we call it today. AI, I mean, in the last 3 years of LLMs and the technological advancements. So yeah, you remember before that it was a lot of research which was done through like extensive databases, through keywords and trying to find the relevant content. And then, you know, we like analysis or writing documents was all basically done manually through templates and stuff. So all this has changed. Yeah, 3 years ago, everyone, including lawyers and all professionals, started playing around with generic LLMs, general use LLMs, and we start, you know, seeing like the potential there. But I think right now we are way ahead of that. Technology is moving fast, and the applications that can also be leveraged for legal use cases are also many. So specialized AI tools and not like generic LLMs can do a lot of different things right now for the legal professional. For example, legal research, of course, which is a natural, let's say, use case. So a specialized tool which has a thorough knowledge of all legislation and court decisions on different levels is able to answer and analyze much better and reason much better the different legal questions or problems that a professional may have, by also citing the respective laws or court decisions that this is based upon. So this is just one, let's say, use case that basically all of the specialized tools for legal professionals can do right now, but it goes way beyond that. So we see a lot of applications around drafting, contract drafting, which is, as we all know, a big pain point for lawyers, but also different departments in organizations like procurement or sales. And again, AI can help the professional get a draft very fast, and a draft which can be used on their existing, let's say, knowledge base for each law firm or for each organization. It's probably not the final product, what the lawyer will take, but it's still a draft which saved a lot of time in order to have a high quality, let's say, first version of an agreement or of a contract, etc. So things like redlining, ensuring that it is compliant, checking the risks around different contracts or agreements. These are all keys, let's say, for this type of applications. Beyond that, then there are many other different sort of use cases that the legal professional can leverage AI right now to help with productivity or with repetitive tasks. So there are workflows that tools like Dikaio.ai can implement, like, for example, anonymization of legal documents, removing all sensitive information from the documents, or that you can share it or publish it without the confidentiality or privacy concerns. Things like translation of legal documents with legal terms are also key for professionals who are operating in multiple jurisdictions, and a lot more type of applications. For example, being able to pull information from multiple data sources, combine them, and be able to output, to have a document which is combining all those different sources into one, let's say, final agreement based on different artifacts. So overall, I would say that specialized AI tools are helping a lot with productivity, definitely saving a lot of time for the professional, which means having time to do more high-value things, or even from a volume perspective, be able to become more productive. Gives more certainty, so it provides coverage. So a professional would know that all terms have been analyzed, nothing has slipped through the cracks. There are no sort of legal risks when they're reviewing something or when they're creating a legal artifact. And overall, sort of democratizing as well the capability of accessing different legal databases and make sure that the research is complete.
So I keep undoubtedly, if all of us or most of us or any of us have used AI tools, I keep at these states that we can do things more productively and faster. But I would like to shed some more light about accuracy, about efficiency. So, Panos, since you're working in a law firm, you must have known and realized that we as lawyers are trained to provide advice that it's accurate, it's reliable, and it's defensible. That means that we adhere to quite strict methodology and rules. We have analyzing methodologies, we have quality and reasoning methodologies like IRAC, if you know about the issue rule analysis conclusion. Also quality methodologies like ISO. This is the one part. On the other side, we fear that AI tools could be like black boxes. We don't know exactly what sort of information are they processing and where they find the information they're processing. At the same time, we feel it's like a chatbot rather than reasoning. It gives answer without any given methodology or strategy or reasoning behind that. And I was wondering if we can move beyond seeing AI tools as simple chatbots, and if we can ensure that they can follow these strict quality and reasoning methodologies as mentioned before, in order to provide more efficient outcomes.
Well, the thing is that artificial technology, the way it is at the moment, and it's obviously getting better and better as as time goes by. It has in it the way to think and do things step by step. The IRAC method, ISO standards of doing, for example, due diligence. So it has built in, because it's a statistical way of working. It has this type of working inside it. It's built like this. So what happens is that it can give you, if you have fed the actual model with the right data, you will get most probably useful data as an answer back. Yeah. So I would say that as these models get better and better day by day, you will be able to trust better as a lawyer the outcome that a platform like this gives you. Yeah. Obviously, you always need the supervision of a lawyer. The outcome has to be revised, and this is one of the reasons that I don't know if you've heard. A couple of weeks ago, ChatGPT said that they will stop giving medical and legal advice, and I think more of these chat models will follow that. So just because it's a little bit, it's sensitive, like medical, legal, and finance, these three topics are a little bit sensitive. Exactly. But things will always get better. The models as they are, they will help the lawyers more and more, as long as, the lawyers know how to use these platforms. Because that's very important. I mean, a lot of people, they go on a model, they type something, they type a question, and they don't really know how the model works, how it thinks. So that's extremely important, to know how the model thinks. If they would know how the model thinks, then they would know how to question it in order to get the most appropriate answer. So it wouldn't hallucinate, it wouldn't. Yeah.
It's an interesting bridge to go to Christina and see the lawyer's perspective and see how that affects our daily life. So Panos mentioned that if you understand how it thinks, does this mean that we as lawyers need to train in a different way? So we have to start understanding how these AI and machines work? And in other words, can GenAI change the practice of law, Christina? And what skill sets do we need to adapt? And if there is something that we need to change in the way we are trained and think, how do you find that important?
Thank you for the question. Hello, and thank you all for being here today. So AI alters the way the lawyer's daily routine, but it does not change the essence of a lawyer's work. So the nature and substance of the services provided by a lawyer remain the same. What changes is the way these services are performed. For example, previous generation of lawyers would immerse themselves in voluminous collections of statutes and case law to conduct the research, which have now been largely replaced by comprehensive electronic databases. However, this does not change legal briefs a lawyer will draft or the legal advice provided to the clients. At the same time, the advancement of AI offers the possibility to automate the collection, processing, classification and analysis of data, the drafting of legal documents, the review of contracts, and even the management of disputes under consideration. Specialized software that analyzes large volumes of data can even predict the course or the outcome of a particular case, providing the lawyer with the ability to strategically plan the approach. The benefits of using AI tools appear almost limitless. Their use allows lawyers, especially those in smaller firms, to be more comprehensively and thoroughly informed, save time, save costs, have a smaller margin for human error, and manage the cases more quickly and efficiently. So the lawyer actually focuses on the substance and critical aspects of the case. What will be interesting is that we'll definitely see AI becoming mandatory in law school in due course, because some skills are needed for lawyers now in order to use the AI tools in the most efficient way. So AI and its tools neither replace or substitute the lawyer, it just changes the way the lawyers work. So a few points on some skills. This list, of course, is not exhaustive. Being commercial and real, so there's broad consensus that commercial business and people skills will become increasingly important. For example, in business development, in client communication, that will be needed. Then critical thinking. The next generation of lawyers will need to excel in human skills. So this is something that AI cannot replicate, including critical thinking, emotional intelligence, strategic advisory, and client relationship management. In addition, astute legal acumen, robust research skills, and ethical reasoning capabilities are essential to effectively synergize AI with these human skills. Then analysis and humanity. The next generation of lawyers will need to equip themselves with a skill set that complements, enhances, and offsets the strengths and limitations of AI processes. So AI will likely streamline most routine tasks, but human skills like critical thinking, problem solving, emotional intelligence, and adaptability are indispensable. These skills enable lawyers to interpret the AI-generated data fairly, so that they can make strategic decisions that will connect them with their clients on a deeper level. So lawyers will need to adapt to these technological advancements by familiarizing themselves with the principles of data analysis, technology integration, and cybersecurity. Then, overeager. The legal sector has conventionally, in general terms, been slow to appreciate and adopt the benefits of the latest tech, yet AI technology has received an untraditionally quick rolling out of the red carpet. Whilst welcomed, this approach has presented law firms with the challenge of educating staff on output which produced misinformation, which is often a mixture of truth and fiction, also known as hallucination. So, in my view, there's no better training than showing lawyers in real time an AI hallucination in a particular field, where the solicitor can see the AI producing an answer they know to be false right in front of their eyes. A last thought would be leaning in. So, as well as being cautious about the outputs and developments of AI and developing people and business-focused skills that complement it, lawyers will also have to learn how to use it. So lawyers should become proficient in using legal research platforms, document automation software, e-discovery tools, and other technology designed to streamline legal processes and improve efficiency. There's also major benefit from having the ability to analyze and interpret large volumes of data, including evidence, case law, contracts, using AI-powered tools to extract insights and make data-driven decisions. So critically, with increasing use of AI in the legal industry, lawyers will need to have a strong understanding of the ethical considerations and regulations surrounding AI, including data privacy laws, bias detection, and algorithm transparency. These skills need to be as strong as the lawyer's ability to use the AI platform themselves. I'm not going to go into more detail. I think
it's a huge list of new skill sets. And the thing is that, because I mainly hear like younger lawyers will have to get trained and learn more about law and strategy. And I always have this argument that it's agnostic age and seniority. We all need to develop new skill sets. Even the more senior, they have to delve more into the technology field. So totally a new way of being trained. But there are more challenges that they come into my mind, Panos and Michalis. And one of the basic ones, you know, as lawyers, we are very concerned about privacy, confidentiality, and security. And we get the fear, like, for example, these open models like GPT, they're very sensitive. They're not that sensitive in security. And for us, this is a red line. So I would like to hear your opinion on these kind of concerns that we have, and if we think that there is a North Star for the law firms about these concerns, and if you believe that the future is in the cloud, or are we heading more into more autonomous products, that they are more designed to the DNA of the law firm? I would like to hear your opinion on that.
The thing is that I think it always depends on the nature of the company. What do I mean by, in the sector obviously it represents. If it's a legal firm, if it's a medical company, if it's a financial institution, I would see, for obvious reasons of privacy and security, I would see AI to be implemented most probably on-premise or in a private cloud. That way, the owner of this data, the company, the medical company, or the law firm, would have peace of mind that, you know, a data breach might not happen. They feel safer, you know, because I mean, it was like a month ago that they stole 800 million emails from Google. You know, they have Google, Microsoft, Amazon. They have the highest levels of security in the world. They host critical systems of banks. So you can imagine how secure they are. So if they can get, you know, hacked, there is. I mean, I've been discussing with corporate customers exactly about this, and there is a concern. There is a concern, you know, especially when they hold critical data. So I think we are moving towards either a hybrid environment of having a few things on-premise, like a big law firm can have its own data on their servers, and that would integrate with a platform like Dikaio, LAWGIC, Harvey, Legora. That's the way I see it. And then we will have companies like Alpha Bank, for example, that would want to have everything on-premise. Okay, so basically have a solution in their house without, you know, having any connections to the internet, because it would be safe, you know, a peace of mind for them, really. So that's the way I see it, either hybrid or on-premise for really critical data. I think.
I wouldn't like to dare, and that's a thought for you about the costs that a law firm will have to engage to develop these private and autonomous tools. It's a food for thought. I said at the beginning that our monetization models may be challenged, so I don't know who will bear the cost and about the cost, and I don't know if it will be not a game, but a challenge between the larger law firms and the smaller law firms, and how they will end up with competitive advantages, all of them. But that's a food for thought for all of us. But we have more concerns, Michali. And, you know, for us, accuracy is our gold. And we must have all experience, at least in the GPT models, hallucination, wrong answers, misrepresentation of statutes. And this is something that we don't like, and it's against our practice. How do you think, are there any specialized AI tools that they can overcome the hallucination challenge? Is it something that you can avail us of this concern?
Right. So yes, hallucinations are a reality in the LLM world. It has to do with the way that LLMs are designed, and the data, as Panos said, it depends on what data they have been fed. So yes, we have all experienced basically one way or another, either inaccuracies or completely fake or imaginable, let's say, answers or based on imaginable data from general use LLMs. And there are things that can be done in order for those to be minimized, if not eliminated completely. But it has to do, as I said, with the way that they have been designed. For example, an LLM is trained on a vast range of data, which was found from the internet or from different databases. It can be, when we're talking about lawyers, it can be, of course, legislation which is publicly available, but it can also be, I don't know, forum discussions, right? So there are some key factors there that we need to consider. One, how official or how final, this information is. So a law, right, or a case file. Is it official? Is it published? What is its current state? So we all know that legislation changes, right? But this doesn't make a difference for an LLM, which is basically ingesting everything. And thirdly, which is also challenging in Greece in particular, but in many more countries, has to do with what we call like codification, basically updates on the same laws, which are again published in a specific manner. And therefore, in order to be able to have an understanding of what is in effect right now in terms of legislation, you need to be able to understand what's the current state, right, of the specific law. So that's where sort of specialized tools like LAWGIC, like Dikaio.ai come in, where they are not fed from the internet, but they go to the official source. They retrieve information from there, the relevant information from there. They know they're guaranteeing that if we're talking about a present, let's say, problem, they're guaranteeing that we're looking at the right, let's say, time where what is in effect, let's say, right now, and they anchor the answers based on officially published legislation or court decisions. So both in retrieval as well as then in analyzing this information and eventually sort of giving it out to the user, there is this anchor of where this answer was based on, and this needs to be like an official source in order to make sure that it's not something imaginable, right? So it's not like a court decision which doesn't exist or a law which has changed. And of course, as we are like discussing here, the role of the lawyer, of course, is critical there as well. It's AI, it's LLMs. Nobody can guarantee you 100% that the accuracy is definitely spot on. That's why these specialized tools need to provide these sources, these specific citations where their analysis is based on, in order for the lawyer to be able to go there and cross-check that this is correct and nothing has been misinterpreted. But overall, we see that hallucinations with this type of infrastructure are getting minimized a lot, like significantly compared to like general purpose LLMs.
So we're still checking, for example, a result, go to the known databases and check if a decision exists or not. But I assume and I hope that this will start getting better and better. And Christina, I want to share a concern that I personally have about the use of AI. And I say, to tell or not to tell. If you are using AI, I don't know if in your law firm you're using AI, but for sure clients know that at least AI can help us in contracts drafting. Do you think that by telling your clients that you are using AI in the drafting of their contracts is a showcase of your innovative and modern approach, and it's something that they will appreciate? Or on the other side of the coin, would you feel that they will think that your personal contribution is reduced and that challenges your value and maybe the billable hours? So what do you think about that?
Yes, this is a tricky question, but I think that AI has moved from novelty to necessity for many service-based businesses, including law firms. So AI is reshaping the way services are delivered, but as businesses adopt AI tools, many are overlooking a crucial piece of the puzzle, which is updating their customer contracts to reflect the use of this technology. While currently no law or regulation requires that you must disclose the use of AI in a service relationship, emerging laws, industry standards, and recent regulatory guidance suggest that it's no longer optional. Businesses that fail to disclose AI usage or clearly allocate responsibility in their contracts may face legal risk, regulatory scrutiny, or damage to client relationships. So I will say why do I think that AI clauses are now a best practice? So from a legal standpoint, the need to address AI in your contract comes from three primary sources. One would be the growing regulatory attention. So laws like AI Act are introducing new transparency requirements. Then the Federal Trade Commission has warned businesses against deceptive uses of AI and has signaled enforcement against companies that misrepresent or misuse AI tools. And then contractual ambiguity. When service agreements don't mention AI, you leave open questions about responsibility, IP rights, data use, and service quality. So even if a business isn't required yet to disclose AI use under law, it's fast becoming a best practice to manage client expectations and reduce legal exposure. So some contract clauses to include when using AI in services could be disclosure of AI use. So if services include AI tools, even if only as a component, you should say so directly in the contract. This ensures the client knows what kind of service they're receiving and reduces the risk of future claims around misrepresentation or reliance. Then limitations on AI output and accuracy. AI systems are probabilistic, not deterministic. So that means that they sometimes generate unexpected or inaccurate outputs, especially in complex or creative tasks. Then intellectual property ownership. This is a challenging and potentially dangerous landscape. Perhaps the most unsettled area in the AI contract drafting is intellectual property ownership. So in 2023, the US Copyright Office issued a decision that has been reaffirmed in 2025. And in this case, the court said that works generated solely by AI without meaningful human authorship are not eligible for copyright protection under the Copyright Act. And notably, in this case, the claimant applied for the copyright listing, the artificial intelligence generator, as the sole author of the work. The court found that the Act's reference to author means a human being. So this means if your service generates written content, graphics, designs, or other creative output through AI, and there's no human authorship involved, the result of your work may be uncopyrightable. So this can be a major problem for both of the person giving the service and the client. So especially if they believe they're purchasing exclusive and enforceable rights to the material. So it's crucial to clarify who owns the output, whether a human plays a material creative role in producing it, and whether any rights are assigned or retained. Then client data use and protection. Many AI tools require data inputs. If those inputs include customer data, personally identifiable information, or sensitive business information, contracts need to clarify what data will be used, whether the AI system trains on it, and how it will be stored and protected. Then human oversight requirement. Many clients expect some level of human involvement, especially if they're paying for professional expertise, including a clause that confirms human review or final approval that can help bridge the trust gap between automation and accountability. Flexibility to update tools. So AI systems are evolving quickly. You don't want to be contractually locked into a single tool or model. And then some final thoughts is like AI is not just a technical tool. businesses that incorporate AI into services without updating their contracts are exposing themselves to ambiguity in ownership, data practices, and performance expectations. This is from my side in terms of this question.
I hear that you adhere to the transparency principle. Yeah. Okay. I wanted to shift a little bit and see the relationship between machine and humans. And as I said, I'm in the technology sector for over 25 years, and always I like asking, who leads, who follows? Michali, what I mean is that human lawyer that guides the machine, or is that the machines that they shapes how lawyers think and work? What is your opinion, and if you see a balance in that?
I have also been involved in tech products for 25 years. And so far, the question was always the same until very recently. So like human dictates, human asks basically what they want to do, and the machine was basically helping them out. This is still the case right now, where the technologies and especially where the applications are, because there are sort of different gears, right? Technology moves first, then applications leverage this technology in order to build products, and then is the adoption from eventually from the user. So there is like a lag also in terms of time frame. But to get back to your question, with AI, like the last 3 years, we've seen that specific workflows can be done much more efficiently. So basically, you know, the professional, the lawyer will ask a legal question, will ask for a draft, will provide some information in order to get an output, which, you know, in the past was done like in a more sort of, in a longer and more tiresome way. So still the lawyer or the human, if you want, because this is actually applicable for basically everything that right now AI is touching. The leadership is still with the human. What we see though is that there is a shift there. So it's like a balance, which in the past it was like this. Now maybe it's a little bit closer, and it's moving closer as the technology advances. For example, we see, you know, agentic now architectures, which basically means that the human again asks for something, but the system sort of decides how they're going to approach it in order to provide an answer. It may decide, you know, that they need to search specific things or not. So it has some level of autonomy or authority, let's say. And this is technology that's already available. Some of the products are already leveraging, so products are catching up. Humans will start using them in the short term or medium term. In the future, we'll definitely see the systems becoming more proactive. So, you know, I don't know, for the lawyer, it could be that when a new sort of gazette, a new law is issued, then the machine will take this signal, go and investigate your legal database, what it affects, propose what needs to change, which of your contracts are affected, and you need to notify your customer, maybe go ahead and notify the customer, you know. So there's a lot of sort of levels of proactivity and independence that the AI systems will continue gaining. My personal view is that it will reach a level of co-leadership. So the machine will be able to do a lot of this sort of dirty work, even proactively. But human in the loop will most definitely be needed, especially when we're talking about lawyers, where, you know, they have the final responsibility and the final say. But also to ensure that the algorithms, let's say, and the output from the algorithms is what is expected to be, because there's always a human factor, things that, you know, maybe are between the lines, or maybe things that are related to your relationship with the customer that, you know, the technology cannot sort of understand. So I think we're going to reach a level of co-leadership, basically machine and human, in the not so far future.
Let's see the dynamic in the very near future. And Panos, if we want to go back to the future, we see and we feel this personalization thing is coming. So machines will think like me and differently like Christina and like every lawyer, and adheres to specific commands and way of thinking and structure and all these personalization thing that we can think of.
Isn't that exciting?
It is, but don't forget that we are lawyers, so we want to provoke a legal question, and you can answer only if you want. We are worried about this ownership of personalization. Who will own this personalized me? Is that me? Is that my firm? Is that you?
I think the answer is pretty easy. When you use a platform to do your work, that work belongs to you. If it's a firm paying for you to work on that platform, I think that that work belongs to the platform.
But don't we both train your tool?
No.
So
well,
don't you get out of our personalization?
If you allow it to, it can do it. But systems like, the way it stands at the moment, we take a full picture of the person using the actual platform. We learn patterns about that person, but only for that person. And we shouldn't train our systems on the different types.
So we may have an on-off option.
No, there's no option. It's obviously it's not ethical.
Because it is a main concern for us.
Obviously, supposedly no one does this. Not OpenAI with ChatGPT, not Claude, not anyone. Even Harvey and Legora, that are similar platforms like Minds and Michalis, we're not doing that. We're not using customer data, customer patterns of doing things in order to train the model. Now, if something is happening like behind the scenes, that's a different story. But you shouldn't and you're not allowed. And if you read the terms and conditions of everyone, it says that I'm not training my model. And that's de facto.
Okay,
now, Facebook, they've said the same, and we know it was Advanced Analytics,
yes.
Oxford Analytics, that obviously that was not the case. It was Facebook. So that's why I come back to what I was saying before, that, give the option to have everything privately. So no one is able to take that data, take those patterns, and train their models.
Okay, maybe we're more affected by the open and large LLMs like GPT, yes. So we should think that it's not only the case for us, but there are more other tools that they are more, I wouldn't say ethical, I like using the word responsible.
That's correct. Yeah.
Christina, going and shedding some light into our daily life in our law firms using the AI tools, do you think that the next day or the day after, will some lawyers in our firms will have to go home and lose their job? How do you think that the team composition will change? We have other needs as lawyers. What are the delegation models? Now we have a structure when a case comes in from the senior to the junior and the tasks we are allocated. So what differences do you see in the next day in our law firms? And if you have any thought about the pricing models, I touched it before, like billable hours, when knowing that things are happening fast, as Michalis and Panos told us. So what's your thought on that?
So definitely, I think we'll see reshaping structure of law firms. We'll see the changes in teams and pricing changes. So GenAI is already reshaping the internal structure of law firms, and over the next 3 to 7 years, these effects will be structural, not just operational. In terms of team composition, definitely, I believe we're going to see changes in juniors, different tasks performed. For example, AI cannot go to court, AI cannot file documents in person, AI cannot go in front of the judge and present the oral arguments of a party. So these tasks are definitely not going to change. But for example, research is going to change. Definitely juniors will do other tasks. There'll be greater need for legal tech literate lawyers. we'll see probably rise of hybrid roles, legal engineers, more knowledge management specialists, and other roles. Other tasks will be to review and validate the GenAI output. As I said earlier, strategic thinking grows, communication skills are important. In terms of pricing, I do think that AI reduces the billable hours, and these hours face pressure. Therefore, alternative models such as flat fees, value-based billing are becoming or will become more prevalent. I believe that every law firm will decide according to the cases it's handling. We have definitely jurisdictions have big difference. Greek jurisdiction is a unique one in terms of how firms work. And I think our legislation is also a unique aspect, and it's not easy to replace lawyers at this stage. So I do think that the billable hours will face pressure, but we'll see this in due course. It's something that cannot be just discussed today with what we have now. I think
Things remains to be seen.
Chance to bring, do the work faster and bring more customers in. I mean, you save time. You might give better pricing just because you have AI, so you will charge less for the work that you do as a lawyer, but you have the chance because you have spare time, you can bring more customers in, no?
It is true, and that was supposed to be my closing remark. Definitely we say no, because it's a new challenge, because, okay, we will save time in order to bring more clients. At the same time, we're in the Greek market, and we may feel there are so many lawyers in a small market, but that is, again, for me, and I would like to close with that, with my remark, and I want to hear your motto, is like, we need to think in a different way, I believe, strategically, more client-based, and I'm sure we can make a difference even when using the AI. So for me, it's not AI versus lawyer, it's a lawyer that uses AI versus a lawyer that doesn't use AI. And as we're closing, if you have for a takeaway for the audience, a motto to say, something for them to remember, a sentence or something?
Sure, I think it comes down to responsibility, both from tools perspective as well as from a user perspective. So I think that's the key going forward, to understand, like the morale behind it and the responsibility that you have by offering a service, by offering, a tool, etc. So yes.
Panos?
Not to be afraid of AI. I mean, it can become your friend. It can become your assistant, and that's how it should stay, your assistant, because it lacks of sense and sensibility. So, yeah, I mean, it's a great tool, but you just need to find out and explore how to use it best, I think. Yeah.
Great. Christina?
Yeah, I agree with my co-panelists, definitely. Transparency, I think, is also important. And yes, as Panos said, it's important to understand how to use it and the way it works and the prompts that make the best use of it the most efficient.
Great. Thank you so much, and thank you for attending.
Thank you.